Hey everyone, welcome back to Foundations of Health Science. So hopefully you studied your medical abbreviations yesterday, and today we are going to play a game together. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go get a trash can and a bunch of scrap paper or a ball or anything that you feel like you'd be okay with throwing into this trash can. Okay, so I'll wait here for a second while you go get that. Okay, the next thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and ball up those scraps of paper into tiny little basketballs, and also make sure that your trash can is 6 feet away from you. On the screen, we're going to go through and I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions about medical abbreviations. Some of them are going to be, I give you an abbreviation and you have to tell me what it means. Some are going to be, I'm going to give you the translation and you have to tell me the abbreviation. And then some of them are going to be full sentences that you're going to have to transcribe, kind of like you did yesterday for your homework assignment. So I'm going to give you the trivia question, then you're going to try to think of your answer, and I want you to try to do this without using your notes. So hopefully you studied. And then after a moment, I will reveal the answer. If you got it right, I want you to keep up with your points somewhere, on your phone, on a piece of paper, wherever you want to put them. And you get 1 point for every question that you get right. And then also, if you get it right, you're going to go try to throw your basketball into your trash can. And then if you make it, you get another point. And at the end, we're going to see who has the most points, okay? So as you can see, there's going to be 25 questions. Question number 1, what does NPO stand for? Go ahead and think about it for a second. NPO. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next, or to the answer. And if you get it right, remember you get 1 point, and then also you get to try to make a basket. Your trash can should be 6 feet away from you. Answer is nothing by mouth. Remember, NPO technically stands for nothing per oral, which also translates to nothing by mouth. Okay, question 2. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try again. Question 2. What does PC stand for? PC. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and look at the answer. PC means after meals. Now remember, PC actually stands for post-consumption, and we know that post means after. So PC means after meals. Let's go ahead and look at number 3. What does BRP stand for? BRP. Don't get confused with BP or BR. This is BRP. Okay, we're going to go ahead and look at the answer. Bathroom privileges. Remember, bathroom privileges, BRP. If you got it right, go ahead and make your shot and keep up with your points. Number 4, how would you abbreviate wheelchair? How would you abbreviate wheelchair? Okay, hopefully you answered W/C, W/C, wheelchair. Question number 5, how would you abbreviate operating room? Operating room. This one should be pretty easy. How would you abbreviate operating room? Okay, the answer for this one is OR, OR. Remember, in the hospital, most of your rooms are going to be abbreviated with very simple letters like ER or 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 PT. What does DOA stand for? This one's not used as commonly. DOA. I believe this was on your homework from yesterday, or a sentence with this. DOA. Anybody got it? Dead on arrival. So if you were to be in a car accident or something like that, and you arrived to the hospital and you had already passed away in the ambulance, you would be pronounced DOA, dead on arrival. Question number 7. What does S/S stand for? Now remember, we have lots of S's in our medical abbreviations. We have S/S, we have S with a line over it, 2 S's with a line over it. S/S. S/S is signs and symptoms, okay? Signs and symptoms. If you got it correct, go ahead and take your shot. Question number 8. How would you abbreviate every day? How would you abbreviate every day? If you know the abbreviation for every, this one should be pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and flip to the answer. QD. Remember, Q with a line over it means daily, and Q means every. So then QD means every day, QH is every hour, QOH every other hour. So remember those from yesterday. Question number 9. Maria was prescribed 2 GTTS QID. What does this mean? So we're looking at GTTS and QID. GTTS and QID. Okay, I'm getting ready to flip the screen here. Maria was prescribed 2 drops 4 times a day. So remember that BID, TID, and QID, 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. And drops is a funny abbreviation because GTTS is 4 letters and drops is only 5 letters. So I feel like that's not really an abbreviation at this point. You're not really shortening a whole lot, but that is the abbreviation for drops, GTTS. Let's look at question number 10. The nurse was instructed to take patient. Oh, I almost gave away one. Sorry. The nurse was instructed to take PT, VS, Q3H. What does this mean? Hopefully everyone gets PT right since I kind of gave it away. The nurse was instructed to take PT, VS, Q3H. Q3H. Okay, so you need to come up with a definition for PT, one for VS, and one for Q3H. I'll give you just a minute. Okay, let's look at the answer here. Take patient, okay, PT lowercase is patient, VS is vital signs, and remember VS can be vital signs when it's lowercase or capitalized, and then Q3H. So we know that QH is every hour and QOH is every other hour, and if we add a number in between those, it just becomes every 3 hours, okay? Every 3 hours. Question number 11. How would you abbreviate history and physical? How would you abbreviate history and physical? Here we go. H and P. H and P. Susan wants to shorten the following sentence. So we're going to read the sentence and we want to try to shorten it. Take height and weight before meals and at bedtime. Take height and weight before meals and at bedtime. I'll give you a clue. The words you're going to need to shorten here are height, weight, before meals, and bedtime. Height, weight, before meals, and bedtime. I'll give you about 20 seconds to come up with an answer. Okay, so let's look at our answer here. Take height. Height would be HT, and weight, WT for weight. Before meals is AC. So remember, PC was after, before is AC, and at bedtime, which is abbreviated to HS. And it's abbreviated HS because it technically stands for hour of sleep. Hour of sleep. Take height and weight before meals and at bedtime, or hour of sleep. I want you to pause right here. If you are not doing so hot so far, and we're on question number 13, or about to be on question number 13, I want you to go ahead and stop watching the video, and I want you to go back to your Quizlet flashcards from yesterday and study those a little more, and then come back and try this trivia game again once you feel more confident in your answers, okay? So go ahead and stop here if you're not doing so hot. Go study your flashcards, and then come back, and we will finish out the game. If you are doing great, good job. I'm glad that you studied, and we're going to keep moving on with question number 13. What does CXR stand for? CXR. I believe this one was also part of your homework from yesterday. CXR. Or maybe not. This might not have been on your homework now that I'm thinking about it. CXR. The answer is chest x-ray. CXR is a chest x-ray. Don't get confused with CPR, which we'll get in a minute.
Teachers and staff, please pardon the interruption. Teachers, I have your rosters in your mailbox.
Interruption for an announcement.
If you would like to come get them, or you can wait till Monday morning when you check in for your 10th. Again, I have all of your rosters in your mailbox. Thank you.
Okay, welcome to Teaching from School. So we've got interrupted by an announcement there, but we're going to go ahead and move on with question number 14. Kevin arrived at the ER with SOB and nausea. His nurse took his TPR and placed him on BR. What does this mean? So you are looking at the abbreviations ER, SOB, TPR, and BR. Go ahead and take a moment to try to figure those out. Okay, ER, SOB, TPR, and BR. Okay, we're going to look at the answer here. Kevin arrived at the emergency room with shortness of breath. SOB is shortness of breath. It is not what you think SOB is, shortness of breath, and nausea. His nurse took his temperature, pulse, and respirations, TPR, temperature, pulse, and respirations. And remember, we can break those up into just T, just a P, or just an R, and they would mean each of those things individually. And then placed him on BR, meaning bed rest. Okay? So temperature could be a T, pulse is a P, and respirations an R. Together, they're TPR, temperature, pulse, respirations, and he placed them on bed rest. And that didn't go away because I didn't click the right button. Here we go. Question number 15. How would you abbreviate with and without? You can see my typo there. How would you abbreviate with and without? Okay, these are the funky ones that have something special about them, with and without. Okay, let's look at our answers. With is a C with a line over it, and without is an S with a line over it. So with and without, C and S. Question number 16, what does the abbreviation CPR stand for? Remember, we've already done CXR. Now we are looking at CPR. This one was definitely on your worksheet yesterday. CPR. Okay, we're ready to look at the answer here. If not, you can pause and keep thinking about it. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Remember, CPR is that thing we do when someone has no pulse and they are unconscious. We perform CPR to try to revive them. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Question 17. Luis was DX with the flu and told to take SS with a line over it, pill, POBID. What does this mean? So you need to define DX, SS with the line over it, PO, and BID. Okay, let's look at the answer. If you're not ready, feel free to pause. Luis was diagnosed, remember DX is diagnosed, with the flu and told to take SS with a line over it, which means 1/2 or half. Told to take half of a pill. PO, meaning per oral, also translates to by mouth. And BID is 2 times a day. Luis was diagnosed with the flu and told to take half a pill by mouth 2 times a day. See how we are easily able to take a whole sentence like that and shorten it down to a much smaller fragment using abbreviations. Question number 18. What does the abbreviation IV stand for? IV. Many of you have maybe had an IV before or have seen someone with an IV, and maybe you never realized what IV actually stood for. IV. Okay, answer is intravenously. And if you're not sure what intravenously means, don't worry, you are going to learn your medical terminology in this course, but it really just means into the vein. So when you see someone with an IV, it means that they are pushing fluids or medication directly into the vein. Question number 19. Sarah needs assistance with her ADL in the AM. In PT, she practices her ROM exercises. What does this mean? Now, I'm actually throwing an abbreviation at you that we did not take notes on in class, and that is AM. But I really want you to think about what do AM and PM mean in real life, okay? So AM in this sentence is referring to what AM and PM mean in real life, okay? So you need to find the definition for ADL, AM, PT, and ROM. Give you about 10 more seconds. Okay, let's look at the answer. Sarah needs assistance with her ADLs, activities of daily living. These are things like brushing your teeth, combing your hair, feeding yourself, all that kind of stuff. Activities of daily living in the morning, okay? AM just means morning and PM means night, so don't get tripped up on that one. In physical therapy, PT capitalized is physical therapy. She practices her ROM or range of motion exercises. So in physical therapy, she practices her range of motion exercises. Let's look at question number 20. How would you abbreviate heart rate? How would you abbreviate heart rate? This one should be pretty easy, but we got to pay attention to whether it is capitalized or not capitalized. 5 seconds. Heart rate is capitalized, capital H, capital R. Now, if we were looking at a lowercase h and r, that would mean hour. Okay, heart rate capitalized, hour not capitalized. Hopefully you're still keeping up with how many you have gotten correct at this point and how many baskets you've made. I want you to hold on to that number. We're going to need it at the end. What does the abbreviation BM stand for? What does the abbreviation BM stand for? Your answer is bowel movement. Bowel movement. This just means someone took a poop. Bowel movement. Question number 22. We only have 4 more to go. The doctor ordered an ECG stat. What does this mean? An ECG stat. Now, typically stat is capitalized like it is here, but it does not always have to be. We're just looking at what does the word stat mean as well as ECG. Okay, your answer? An electrocardiogram immediately. So stat means immediately, as soon as possible. Electrocardiogram can be translated to ECG or EKG, depending on where you are. How would you abbreviate treatment? How would you abbreviate the word treatment? This one should be pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and skip on. TX. Okay, diagnosis was DX, treatment is TX, and that's going to lead us straight into question number 24. How would you define prescription? We've had DX, TX. What is left? How would you define prescription? Your answer? RX. RX. And question number 25, last one. Check Jerry's BP, Q with a line over it, and ad lib. What does this mean? So we are looking at BP, the Q with the line over it, and the ad lib. Got 3 words here. If you were paying attention earlier, I did give away the answer for the Q with a line over it. And if you're not ready, go ahead and pause. Otherwise, I'm going to click the answer and we are going to finish up this game together. Check Jerry's blood pressure daily and as desired, meaning if Jerry wants his blood pressure checked, you check it. Check Jerry's blood pressure daily and as desired. Okay, so go ahead and tally up how many points you have at the end of this game, including the questions you got right as well as the baskets that you made. Okay, and then number 2 on your to-do list for today is going to give you a link to submit your total score, okay? And the person who wins is going to get a prize. I am going to contact that person about their prize. So go ahead and make sure you tallied up your score and submit that on number 2 on your to-do list. And if you won, I will send you a prize, okay? Have a great day, guys. Go ahead and finish up your rest of your assignments today. Remember, you can always text me on Remind or email me with any questions that you may have. See you later.